Welcome back. Our new generations are our wealth, those who are going to build the future of this nation. And it's our homework, it's their right and our duty towards them to let them be able to invade the digital age and to let them even create this digital age to cope with the current challenges and changes in the same time. To shed more light on the importance of integrating the new technology to empower our students and our new generations via changing their educational curricula, we are very much delighted to have with us Professor Dr. Wael Badawy, member of the Egyptian Research Council on Communication and Information Technology. Thank you very much for being with us, sir.
Thank you very much.
And let's start immediately with this. The importance of what I've said in my intro, to let the new generations be equipped and to be more accurate, being able to invade this digital market or digital transformation age as we are living it nowadays, and of course it's developing even not a day after the other, a minute after the other.
It's a very current and interesting question, because if you look at the new generation grown up with technology, with more than 6 screens. Even the parents right now, when they were young but old enough to use the phone, they hand in the phone, they hand the technology. So if I want to take somebody who is immersed in technology, as immersive as our kids, and tell him, yeah, you have to go to the classic classroom, you are now taking someone from right to left. They will not understand, they will not be able to capture information. So with the development of our society toward digital age, it's a must that our educational curriculum includes a significant part, even way to deliver or extended classroom, i.e. you can do extended activity on digital computers, screens, on phones, on beds or what have you. So these kids will be able to absorb information in the standard way when they were grown from 3 years old to 9 or 6 years old. I see it as a must in the new societies.
Sir, I'm going to return to that, and I'm going to speak in detail about the devices which should be used to implement what you've kindly mentioned. But before going to that, I am a mother before being anything else. And there are some accusations of this digitalization and saying that this is going to make my kid introvert, only attached to the screens or the tabs or whatever you said. And there are even other pediatricians or psychologists who are saying that what we are doing to our kids is one of the reasons behind the increased rate of autism, for example, or autistic syndromes being noticed in our kids. How I can answer these accusations?
This accusation has some roots of truth and some overcasting. Having someone on digital platform, the question, what is the content, not what is the digital platform. So right now, they are on the digital platform. There are questions if you are on digital platform playing games with individuals in the cyberspace, which you don't know them, but you play the game collaboratively. This increases the collaboration, or this actually create an introvert kids who don't have skills to face humans. Sometimes some of the kids are more aggressive and they are more social because they were basically practicing this communication on the social domain or on the cyber domain. So the question, in my opinion, it lays around, do you really have the proper content and the right content? There are a few cases in Canada back in March, April and last month where school board actually accused social media platform, 5 of them I believe, on their negative impact on the kids. There are some other schools in Canada, they regulate that you don't take the phone to the classroom. It's not because the phone into the classroom. There are some other schools who will say if there is no necessity, you only can use the phone during the recess. The phone in a classroom, it's a disturbance. However, if all of us will open the phone on the right content for the classroom, it will be collaboration on the content, not disturbance. So when you look at this kind of phenomena and try to understand, we have to ask ourselves, are we really exposing our kids to the proper content? And we have been seeing in our ages when we used to have the TV black and white and you have improper content on the TV as cartoon, as different movies, as cinema. We are concerned that the improper content. So the question is not the platform, is not the digitalization, is not the phone, is not the bed, is not the computers. The question is what kind of games do they play, what kind of content do they play, do they really get the content in their age?
And maybe there are parents or there are families who do not know how to make this balance between the eye contact between a father and a kid or a mother and a kid and the times that they are just leaving their kids to be I'm not going to say behind bars, I'm calling it this way, behind the bars of screens. Because for me, this is a prison, this is a jail. When I'm locking the room, having only a kid and a computer or a kid and a tablet or something like that, this is one of the mental jails. I'm punishing my kid with doing that. But sir, let me put it in other way. For example, I have a talented kid in drawing. But he knew how to draw using AI, so he might have such a wonderful painting using AI and not to use his mind and his hand to draw. How to make the difference between a talented kid who can do it using his own hand and a talented kid using AI?
Okay, let me break your question into two pieces because this is a personal experience last week I want to share with the audience here. We went to the club and we want to watch the game. Suddenly we found a lady behind us screaming and her both kids.
Oh.
We are here in the club to play, not to use your phones. So it was interesting because me and my wife at the time, we had our phone in our hand. So we put our phones away. The time we steer our eyes towards this table, we found this mom having two boys stand in front of her and she was on her phone for more than 15 minutes. To the extent that I want to go to her and say, but I didn't do it because it would be rude. Would you be the right role model and put your phone away? So parents, when they try to make kids disciplined and use the phone in a specific time, they have to be the role model that you don't use the phone yourself. You don't answer except emergency or urgent calls. You don't sit on your whatever social media you use or communication channel you use. You keep typing on your phone and telling, no, you are here, boys, in the club to play, not to use your phone. But you, mom, was just in the club.
And to have quality time with family, quality time with friends.
The parents are not disciplined enough to have. We've seen parents, they want to get the kids away from their life because themselves, they are sick, they are tired, they are over-exhausted, and they don't know. They were feeling the challenge of having quality time hands on the kids.
Yeah.
So we cannot blame the technology, and I'm not blaming the parent, but I found it interesting to share this observation because I was actually telling my wife, should I go and tell her, put your phone away? She took it and said, no, you're not here as a professor. Yeah, it's rude. You have to be, let it go. And we keep watching her for more than 15 minutes, and then we moved our tables away because it was on our nerves. We put our phones away because of you, ma'am, and kindly enough, put your phone away.
Yep.
Coming to your second question, drawing and playing music, it's a talent and people need to use their hands. However, the current audience will admire more computer-generated images and sounds. So for specifically painter and the drawer, there are accessories to the computer where you can actually paint the whole image with normal stroke by the brush on a pad. So there are ways where we can play both. At the end of the game, if you have a computer-generated paint, you will always compare it to the original one, which is painted by hand. So for people who have special skills, there are keyboards for music connected to computer. So he can play two different instruments, and at the same time, he still can have the sense of how to touch an electrical keyboard.
If you want to make it more simple for the viewers, because we want to return back to the education issue.
Automation means you automate some hand-driven tasks by let the computer use it. So for example, instead of typing on the computer, instead of writing by hand, I can talk to the computer will transcribe my talk.
And that's it.
And that's it.
But
this is automation.
Digitalization?
Digitalization is when you make from the beginning to the end a digital world. So for example, you have different documentations, and all of this documentation, we need to have authentication, use QR code to authenticate the document, electronic signatures. People are paperless operation. And we are very fortunate in Egypt that we don't have a complete digitalization. We have automation of specific functions like automatic payment, and this is to protect our people here, because our society is not all high educated to handle cyber attack or to handle complete 100% electronic format.
This is to preserve or to maintain our security. Sir, I'd like here to move to the teacher, and particularly to make sure that the teacher is going to continue having his or her, of course, pivotal role in our educational system. How we can equip our teachers with the most important modern techniques, if I may call it this way, using IT, and being able to have this kind of conversation, or to be all the time on the right track with the students, because the new generations, they can use modern technology more than us. And they can be acquainted with modern technology more than us. How we can, fill this gap?
I strongly believe filling this gap will not come from automating or digitalizing the current curriculum. It's by augmented extra tasks and extra exploration tasks on the electronic devices. So the teacher still have to stand in a classroom and teach. She may use some automated devices like projection, like smart walls, smart screens, what have you. And then after you finish your class task, you take the students into the extended classroom by having personalized and self-educated material where you can explore. For example, if you explain geology, you can explain the layer of the land. And I'm not a geologist, but I can explain, oh, these are the basins, these are the layers of the land, this is how the structure will happen. And then I can put them into a simulation, like a trip to the center of the earth movie, where the students can go and navigate and have some visualization and the feeling. You may extend it to having like a metaverse environment where the students can go into caves and have them 3D. These caves are not new. When I joined my university overseas, like in 2000, they have caves for petroleum engineering, and the students will go inside the cave to understand how the formation of oil and natural gas inside this cave. And the sponsor of these caves were actually oil and gas companies and pipeline companies, where they put this cave into an educational environment. Right now, on the gaming structures, on the high fidelity, high quality of graphics, you can have lots of activities. If you want to teach the students how to drive car, it's a very straightforward. You put them through not an app, a game of driving simulator. And you can give some efficiency to the cars, you can have different vehicles. This kind of positioning the technology as extended part of the education curriculum, I believe this is the way to go. Because,
amen to that.
Because till now, there is no one who made a study how people actually receive data from computers and retain them. Classically, we have the instructor, we have the teacher, we have different mean for education, different way for education. We have the Montessori system, or sensory stimulation. We have people talk about the Wael education, which is basically you learn from the system, which is not descriptive, by the feeling of the classroom, the walls, everything. So we have all of this philosophy in education. Nobody actually studied what will happen if you put somebody in 100% digital environment, and what kind of materials they will retain in the mind.
And also there is remote learning. I remember in those unfortunate 2 years of lockdown during the COVID-19, I think without the remote learning, how the whole planet would continue, or how those generations, are they going to lose 2 academic years or something? But with the studying online and with courses online, I think the whole planet, or all students all over the world, were capable of continuing their academic learning through using e-education, if I may call it this way, and it was such a benefit. How this can benefit us, or when I can depend on e-learning or on personalized learning or online courses?
Actually, it was not a benefit according to the advanced higher education. So in advanced higher education, which is a UK kind of institute or association, they made surveys and they found out that the students would like to go back to classroom. The students would like to go to traditional way of teaching, not to the 2 years of teaching. We at the university where I'm teaching, we have seen some gaps in the generation of COVID and some specific material. And these gaps existed because there was no instructional teacher who leads them through this kind of material, which need to be instructional. It cannot be self-learning. So we don't know till now is the e-learning or the remote learning or learning on computers through recorded videos or remote or we call it distance learning is sufficient or not. But we do know also that different students will learn in different ways. So students with disadvantage, I'm not talking about special care, special need. I'm talking about somebody who is really lazy enough. He needs to hear it 3-4 times. Having digital components, they can replay it, they can ask themselves. Having chatbots with AI, and the students can talk to the chatbot, can ask questions, and the chatbot will adjust the answer based on how many the students will ask. Having students in a remote area, in very hard to access area, in special circumstances, it may fill the gap. But in a standard lifestyle, I don't believe there is any study which demonstrated that doing stuff online only will replace the luxury of having classrooms.
Not to replace, but at least to have the, I'm not going to say the lion's share, a big part. In specific, when it comes to biology, for example, to mathematics, to when it comes to colleges, faculty of engineering, faculty of medicine. But when it comes to faculty of arts, for example, of languages, of stuff like that, I think we do need more the tit for tat, the face-to-face learning. But when it comes to things which need something practical to use your hand, I think this is going to be more beneficial if I go through computers or I go through digitalization or using AI.
I agree with you if you have the instruction in person. You shall design the computers or the digital world as augmented, as extended time above and beyond the classical classroom. We as a human, we understand only how we teach in a standard classroom, and we understand how the students, especially in young generation, how they can form the information in a classroom. With the introductory matters we discussed or your introduction, it's clear that our students right now are more digital oriented. So we may need to have more digital orientation inside, but we cannot lose, and we have no luxury of losing the one-on-one or the face-to-face traditional way. We know that reading books as books, flipping pages, it extends our concentration span, it extends our focus. So having the digital world is not yet studied, so we cannot just risk it by imposing this on our kids. And this is my personal opinion.
Me too, I agree. Well, we were very much delighted to have with us Professor Wael Badawy, member of the Egyptian Research Council on Communication and Information Technology. As usual, I enjoyed our discussion, sir. Thank you very much for your input.
Thank you very much. Have fun.
Right after the short break, we are going to return back with more, so stay tuned.
في زمن ساد فيه الفساد والاستبداد